the first time I got a nanny for Christelle, people were literally like, oh, a nanny for your daughter? Why would you get that? And it's like, I'm a working mom. We getting started early. This is my disclaimer. Do not come for me in the comments with all that, well, you can afford it, I can't. I have met women who literally are making $1 million a year in their day job, who do not outsource. Hello, somebody. How I do it all is that I don't do it all. So if you want to do it all, you can't. What you don't inspect, you shouldn't expect.
Energy high, excuses low. Energy high, excuses low. Energy high, excuses low. Energy high.
Hey guys, it's Nicole Kirkwood with the Speak Your Way to Cash podcast, and I am so excited to have you all here. This episode is going to be great. You're going to need pen and paper because we are breaking down the 25 things that we outsource to buy back our time. Okay, because what we're not going to do in 2024 is run ourselves ragged. So I didn't realize until I was talking to a girlfriend of mine how helpful it could be to just hear all of the things that we outsource. And this is I don't even know if this is everything that we outsource, because this is really like personal stuff. I'll get into a little bit of the things that we outsource in business, but for the most part, this is personal stuff that's just going to make your life easier. And I want you guys to lean into this because for a long time, it was like uncommon for us as Black women to outsource or to have people that help us to accommodate our lifestyles, serving us. It's like uncomfortable for people to see. I'll never forget the first time I got a nanny for Christelle, people were literally like shunning me, like, oh, a nanny for your daughter? Why would you get that? And it's like, I'm a working mom, which means I'm gonna have to have childcare. But what was interesting to me is no one would have shunned me for sending her to daycare. What they were uncomfortable with was us having we literally went to a school, hired a teacher from the school to come in and teach our daughter for years. So her first 2 years, she had a nanny, a traveling nanny. She came with us when we went out of the state. I don't know if we went out of the country, but we did get her a passport as a part of her employment. How we flew is how she flew. So she came with us to go around to all these different places. And it was great because I felt comfortable with who was with our child. She presented a quarterly learning plan to us for Christelle. She was not a babysitter. And let me just say to all the moms out there, we getting started early. Number one, childcare. We're gonna start with this one. Let me say this. There are a lot of people that are gonna say, hey, I'm a nanny. Everybody ain't no nanny. Nannying is a profession, you all. It is an esteemed profession. It is when you dedicate your life to helping rear a child that you did not birth. Literally, you are helping with the educational and personal needs of a child. I knew that education was really important to me. I wanted to make sure that my daughter was educationally prepared. So we hired a teacher to be our private nanny. And here's the thing, we were able to pay her more than the school paid her, not because we paid her so much. I wish we could always pay our educators even more, but it was because the average rate that daycares or these schools are paying people who work with your children is like $15, $16. On the high end, maybe $17, $18, right? And so these women are certified. They have all their certifications. They've been to school for this. And so you can get someone to work in your home, $18 to $20 an hour, that has experience working in a daycare. And I'll tell you this, she was our first nanny, and we were her first family. But because of her spirit, because of her demeanor, because of her background, she didn't just work at any daycare. She worked at a school that really took academics seriously. So she was familiar with lesson planning. She had done activities in the classroom. We did no screen time when she was with Christelle. She was planning activities, etc. And so you can get someone to work in your home. And a lot of people are like, well, I can't afford a nanny. But when you tally it up, you may be able to, depending on what you're paying for daycare. Daycares are costing $2,000, $3,000 a month. Maybe not three. About $1,500, $1,800 a month. But even if you were to pay like $18 an hour times 40 hours times 52 weeks, I'm doing the math, honey, that's $37,440. Now, if you pay $1,800 a month, you're going to end up paying $21,000. So it is about a $10,000 to $12,000 difference. But for some of you, you're paying for daycare and then you're also paying for aftercare. meaning you're paying more than just what you pay for daycare. So just do the math. Whatever your financial situation is, do the math. I'm not saying everybody is going to do it. And also, let me just say this. This is my disclaimer. Do not come for me in the comments with all that, well, you can afford it, I can't, and you blah, blah, everybody can't afford it, everybody ain't got it. Well, I understand that. I am sharing this because after working with over 7,000 paying clients and customers and 7,000 people who've given us money, I have met women who literally are making $1 million a year in their day job who do not outsource. That is not a financial issue. For some of us, it is a mindset issue, and I don't even know if issue is the right word, but it is a mindset default that says there is some type of reward that I'm going to get for being the busiest or the most strugglingest person. We need to, particularly my sisters. Now, all my other people that ain't my sisters, like they ain't my sisters, but you my sister, you know what I mean? Like, y'all can listen into this, but to my black women, sis, ain't it time for us to get a little ease? If you've worked, if you can afford it, take 20% of what you've earned. Take 10% of what you've earned to buy back your time. And with that 10% of extra time, I want you to invest the time that you buy back into accelerating the growth of your life. I'm not saying outsource to spend frivolously. I'm saying for black women, a lot of times, people are not handing us ease. We got to buy it. Hello. How real can we be? After my last episode, I'm feeling real free. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes we have to buy ease. So you're going to buy a little bit of ease. We're going to talk about the 24 other things you can outsource. And then what you're going to do with that 10% of time you get back, maybe you take 5% of the time and you put it towards doing an activity that will accelerate your revenue to levels that you can buy more ease and also build more wealth. And maybe that other 5% of time you just rest, you take a nap, you sleep, you do nothing. You know what I mean? But I want us to normalize black women having the support that they need to operate at the highest levels. Because if you think about a professional athlete, they are going to be focused on their craft. They are not going to also have to be focused on cleaning up and doing everything else. And you may be saying, well, Ashley, I'm not a professional athlete. Actually, you're what we call a cashlete in this community, which means you are a corporate athlete. You are someone who is going to operate at the highest level of entrepreneurial professionalism, which means if you're going to play with the pros, you're going to need to focus like a pro. And you can't focus like a pro if you are doing everything else that ain't your job, okay? So let's get into it. Number one is childcare. And I want to phrase this right. I do not outsource raising my daughter, so don't play. What I do is I will invest in getting care for her, right? So that she has what she needs to grow academically and develop academically and also develop in a socio-emotional learning setting, right? So we're going to invest in that. But her life lessons, her confidence, her ability to reason, her ability to conversate, her morals, her values, her what she believes, the foundational values of who she is going to come from us. The reason I have one child instead of 10, right, is because I thought, me and Chris, we did family planning. And one of the things that we planned for you guys was how we have our budget. So we know, like, okay, how many kids can we afford to take care of and all of that and make sure we can give them the quality of life that we want to be able to provide for our children. But then two, we think about what is our emotional budget? Okay? What is my emotional budget? How many children can I invest emotionally in raising? How many children can I put before my own needs? How many children can I have the empathy and the bandwidth and the patience for? That's what we thought about when we were family planning. And I want to talk about family planning when we talk about childcare, because there's also this notion, and this is what we heard over and over again. Me and Chris got married when we were 22 and 23. We didn't have Christelle until 8 years later. If you are not already married and you are family planning and you're thinking about when to have children and all of this, I want to just offer this up. I'm not a marriage coach. I'm not going to sell you anything for marriage coaching. I have friends who do that. Shout out to Coach Cass. She does like relationship that's her business, is like love and relationships. But I want to share this perspective because it was not a perspective that I thought was shared with me enough. A lot of people kept asking me at every holiday, when you gonna have kids, when you gonna have kids, when you gonna have kids. And me and Chris decided we were going to have kids. We were going to grow our family when we were in the emotional, financial, and social space to do it. And it didn't negatively impact our marriage. Like we really, I didn't get married because I wanted to be a mom. I got married because I am and was madly in love with my husband. I didn't get married, I didn't get married because I wanted to be married. I got married because I wanted to be married to Chris. And so the most important thing when I got married was like, I don't want to mess up our union because we accelerated our family too fast. The first 8 years of our marriage, y'all, we were kicking it. We traveled all around the world. We did so many things for the first time. We lived in a 1-bedroom apartment on the southwest side of Chicago for $550 a month. And we were having the time of our lives. We couldn't afford internet, y'all. We couldn't afford furniture. We used to go on Craigslist and we looked at the free furniture section and we got this couch that was also a let out. And it was probably so unsanitary. This was before all the COVID stuff. And we cleaned up that little couch, child, and put that couch in our little apartment, and it was on a slanted floor. But I just remember the joy and the fun and the laughs and the text and the notes that we would send each other and the dreams that we would have about the life that we would live. And so I didn't decide that I wanted to be a mom until much later. And once I got into my legal career, so I married Chris, you all, before I was a lawyer. Chris is the one who worked full time and put me through law school. And I'm sharing that because so often people see me and Chris and they see our dynamic and they're like, oh, you know, what's he do? Or does he do this? And how do, you know, and it's just ignorant, right? But sometimes people don't know our story. And when me and Chris got married, we both didn't have any money, obviously. My parents did well for themselves, but they very clearly told me that was their money, not ours. And so when I got married, I couldn't go back to Dad and be like, Dad, I need some money, right? So me and Chris didn't really have any money. We both had jobs, lots of jobs. We didn't have any money. And we were working, but I was making like $27,000 a year. And I wanted to go to law school. And I come home and I asked Chris, I say, babe, I really want to go to law school. And he was like, okay. Because my dad told Chris he will bless our marriage if Chris made sure that I became a lawyer. Like he was like, don't be messing up my daughter's dreams. He didn't say it like that. But basically he was like, don't be messing up my daughter's dreams. Like she got goals. Like girl got goals, okay? And so Chris was always down for that. And the gift that Chris gave me was he said, after my he said, when I got into law school, because it took me a while to get in, I didn't get in the first year anywhere. The second year, I finally got into a law school. And Chris told me, like, you can quit your job. I will hold it all down. You just focus on law school. And that allowed me to go to law school and love it. I mean, I got all A's in law school. I was on the debate team. I ran a program for Northwestern Law in Morocco, and I taught the class on women in Islam and politics. And we went over to Morocco, and I organized the trip. And it was just incredible. I won something for mock trial. I did everything I ever wanted to do because my husband worked and allowed me to do that. And he just was always so supportive. Chris has always been so supportive. He's never been intimidated by me. He's never been intimidated by big dreams or big goals. He's just an incredible person. And I'm telling you guys that backstory so that you understand the reason I outsource is not because I want to frivolously spend money. Believe it or not, I don't like spending money on anything that does not give me a return. The reason we're talking about outsourcing is because it's one of the things that I've invested in that has given me the largest return. And I need everyone watching this to think through their life and do an audit. Where are the areas where I should be outsourcing? Where are the areas where I can get help? Someone asked recently, Ashley, how do you do all this? You do this, you do this, you do this, you do this. Look, the how I do it all is that I don't do it all. Hello, somebody. How I do it all is that I don't do it all. So if you want to do it all, you can't. Don't do it all. Outsource. And I outsourced at the level that I could at the time. And where you can outsource and hire extra people, maybe you can outsource by hiring technology. Maybe you can automate some things. Maybe you can batch some things. Maybe you can Book out all of your doctor's appointments at one time so you're not just doing it on the fly. Maybe you can put all your bills on auto. Like there's all these ways that you can automate either with people or technology. Let's get into it. So number one is childcare. In addition, when I had Christelle, there was something that I outsourced, and I have some notes here, guys. So that's why I'm looking down, because I want to make sure I give y'all all I got. Let's stay on the kid topic for a little bit. When I first had Christelle, one of the things that I was really concerned about, because I had Christelle in 2020, so in the midst of the pandemic, there were a couple of things that I was worried about. One of those things was taking her to the doctor, waiting in a waiting room, and in general, you guys, I don't like going to the doctor because I hate waiting in that little waiting room, filling out those little forms, waiting all day. So I found out about something called concierge medicine. This is when your doctor comes to you. You can't use insurance, you got to pay out of pocket. And sometimes for like, if you need a shot or medical stuff, they'll let you use insurance. Well, I couldn't find a concierge doctor for myself, but I was able to find a concierge doctor for Christelle. So when Christelle was born, we had a concierge doctor who was also a lactician. So she came and helped me with getting my breastfeeding together. Sorry, guys. And she also came and she would do all of Christelle's pediatric visits in our home. She had a procedure for doing that. She would take Christelle's vitals, and she was just brilliant. She was just brilliant and cared a lot about our daughter and cared a lot about her craft. Pro tip. Don't hire somebody that don't care. I would tell clients this all the time when it came to hiring lawyers. Like, I got a lawyer, but you won't answer my calls. And that lawyer don't care about you, okay? Yeah, you need a lawyer with a law degree. You need a lawyer who's smart. Hello, because it's a lot. Let me back up. You need a lawyer who's smart, because just because they're a lawyer does not mean that they are intellectually superior. It doesn't mean that they really care about their craft. It doesn't mean that they're continuously learning about what they do. It doesn't mean any of that. The same way, let me bust some myths. You can have a doctor that doesn't care, that doesn't really keep studying things, that doesn't think outside the box, that doesn't have an expansive view of the field, that isn't healthy themselves. That is, like, you want someone who cares. If you don't get the sense that your lawyer, your doctor, your accountant cares, if you don't get the sense that they want to do this work, if you don't get the sense that they would stay up late to learn it, that they would go to bed early to make sure they were fresh in the morning, like if you don't get the sense that they would go the extra mile, that's not who you want. So her doctor was really, really good. We interviewed a few, but she was by far the best, and she provided concierge services. Now, concierge pediatric services and concierge medical services is something that is easier to find in big cities. When we moved to Georgia, it was really difficult for me to find the same level of services like this. Georgia, they're trying. I love Georgia. I think in 5 years we may have some of these services, but when I first moved here, it wasn't that many people in the game, okay? And it wasn't given what I got in Chicago. So I haven't found like a perfect fit concierge pediatrician or concierge doctor in Georgia. So if you know someone who's excellent, and I do mean excellent for real, not just somebody you know, then, you know, have them email me. But yeah, so in Chicago, it was a thing. So it wasn't a lot in Chicago, but it was a good enough group where you could interview some and get somebody good. So you have concierge doctors. So the first thing, of course, childcare. The second thing, concierge pediatricians. If you are in that period where you're about to have a baby, you can have concierge lacticians who'll come to your desk. You can have night nurses. These are people who will make sure that you can get sleep overnight, because they will actually feed your baby overnight for you. Now, I don't know how that works if you're breastfeeding. I pumped, meaning Christelle always had breast milk, but I pumped. Now, here's the other thing, because I don't know if people know about this. When Christelle was first born, I really had a hard time with breastfeeding. It was difficult for me, but I still wanted her to get breast milk. So our concierge pediatrician, who I retained before I had Christelle, peep that, because this is just peep game, right? I retained the concierge doctor and interviewed concierge pediatricians before I had my daughter. She was Christelle's advocate while I was having Christelle. She also spoke to the doctor who I gave birth with, and shout out to Northwestern, woo woo, Northwestern Hospital. I went to Northwestern Law School. You know, I was giving birth in Northwestern Hospital in Chicago. They were amazing. But my concierge pediatrician communicated with the person who was delivering our baby. And I actually got out the hospital earlier because I had a concierge pediatrician. She already knew all the doctors there. She made sure we were treated really respectfully. She explained things to me over and above what the doctor explained. Huge benefit. When I had a problem with breastfeeding, but I didn't want to give Christelle formula or anything, she went and actually got breast milk that was cleaned. It was to a standard, and it was $20. I will never forget the price, child. It was $20 per 4 ounces. So we needed to get, mama's supply needed to get up quick, okay? And so these are things that I'm bringing up because I don't think people know all the options that are available to them. Yes, everyone will not qualify to do this or won't want to invest in this way, but because it was important to me, it was something that I really invested in. And then we were able to get my supply up, and then eventually I became an oversupplier, and I pumped. And I liked pumping over latching because it actually allowed for Chris to be a part of the feeding process. So we had a schedule where we would split time, and that was just so helpful. We were able to, you know, it was just so helpful, okay? It was just so helpful. So those are some other things that you can get help with. It feels weird putting it under outsourcing, but it kind of is. So what have we talked about so far? So far, we've talked about nanny services. That's one. We talked about a concierge pediatrician or concierge medical services, meaning your doctor comes to you. You may not be able to use insurance, but it is super convenient if you're busy and you don't want to be waiting in doctor's offices. We've talked about lactation consultants. We also talked about night nurses, so they can help you with overnight feeding so that you can get rest. These are all things that you can research and retain prior to. I was going to use a doula, but we had some, it didn't work out. I recommend you research and get a doula if you want a doula. It didn't work out for me. However, the woman who gave birth to Christelle, I've known her since I was a kid. She was a sister. She was amazing. Shout out to Dr. Wendy Goodall. She is the best OBGYN ever that I've had. And she was just incredible. I mean, she just was there. I felt incredibly supported. But not everyone will have that experience, knowing your OB being a sister, her being incredible, her being down. If you don't have that, you're going to need an advocate. So that's where doulas come in. So that's something else. We did not do that, but that's something to consider as well. So we've talked about 4 things or so already. And hopefully I'll have them edit in like number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. Okay. Now I'm going to go in order. Okay. Organizing. Get you a professional organizer. This is something else you can outsource. We recently had a professional organizer come into our house. Shout out to Tanisha. She's incredible. Organize my house down. Do you hear me? Like, we tried to hire another company before her. Do not recommend. She is the one you want, and she travels. The name of her company is Simply Organized. Let me make sure I'm telling the name right, child, because I want y'all to go and run it up with her, because she was so good. Her name is Tanisha Lyons Porter. The name of her company is Natural Born Organizers, okay? Natural Born Organizers. Let me tell you how organizing changed my life. Organizing changed my life, y'all, because now that my house is organized, and I'm going to literally, I wonder if my kitchen is clean. I'm gonna show y'all this. Y'all wanna see this? Okay, let's go. I'm gonna literally show them this. Okay, so organizing has been so incredibly helpful, you guys. So check this out. So we actually had our seasonings jarred so that they could be clear and just all look consistent. And so if you look at the top of this, it's easy for me while I'm cooking here at the table to just see all of the seasonings in one place, okay? The other thing that we organized was the pantry. So you guys, I have always been the type where, like, I ain't always know what we had. So when it came time to cook, it was very difficult. But now that our stuff is organized, it's so much easier. So we replated the stuff in here. So now we can see everything in these cute little jars here. So you could literally see what's in here. And then these little lazy Susans are super helpful for just knowing what seasonings you have. And it saves so much space because they're all here. This is all there. And then we have all of our rice and our stuff over there. And when something's empty, it's really easy to see what's empty. So this has been a game changer. The other thing is, for quality of life purposes, one thing that Chris and I like to do is have a tea at night. And we're loose leaf tea people. So let me show you what they did with that. Now, this is Amazing. So we have all of our loose leaf tees here, and we actually bought a lot of this stuff, you guys, and these are all of our bag tees, and they're all numbered. But with loose leaf tea, what you have to do is put it into these little tea bags. So boom, now we have all our tea bags. Now here's why this is dope, because this actually has helped us with our night routine. So now when we want to have tea, we don't have to go around looking. We don't have to wonder where stuff is. It's all in its place. Organizing is a game changer. The other thing that we organized is the bathroom. So I'm gonna show y'all that really quickly. Okay, so first things first, we spend a lot of time in the bathroom. Every day we're in the bathroom, right? And so we needed our stuff to be organized, and we needed it to make sense. So as I said, we worked with several organizers. So some of this Tanisha did, some of this other folks did. What Tanisha really helped us with was like this part here, was reorganizing our bathroom so it makes sense. Look at this jar with all of my like hair stuff. Child, who ain't got flexi rods galore? Taking out some of the medicines that we use a lot and like having them here. That's like some little Benadryl, child. Ain't nothing fancy. And then back here, we have all of our alcohol swabs and wipes to clean our glasses. All of our towels are there. Look at this, hair scarves, cotton balls, Curl Mix products. Shout out to Curl Mix. We have a whole drawer for y'all. And then all of my stuff for doing my hair is organized in here. Like I know where everything is. Now, this is like my makeup drawer. It has all of my makeup stuff in it. She just made it so easy. And then this is my favorite drawer, y'all, because let me tell you, before Tanisha, this is my testimonial. Before Tanisha, I never knew where my bonnets were. And I love my bonnets. So now we know where all of our bonnets are. They're all here. We know where all of our perfume is. It's our perfume and cologne drawer. When we're brushing our teeth, we have our like dental hygiene drawer. And so it's just been so incredibly helpful having a house that is organized, because it's one less thing to think about. And this goes back to making sure you all that you are clearing mental space, because you're going to accelerate your business. But it's very challenging to accelerate your business if you have brain fog. I was making too many decisions within the first 20 minutes of my day. Where's my bonnet? Where's this? Are we out of toothpaste? Where are the floss things? Like all of this stuff was just taking mental energy from what could have been time spent praying, preparing, working on a new idea, thinking a creative thought, dreaming of a life I haven't lived yet, but that I want to live. Like, it has changed the game. And I wish I would have done it sooner. We just started hiring organizers this year. So I wanted to make sure this was at the top, because it's been such a quality of life enhancer. Even if you don't move, even if you stay in the same house, if your house was organized and your house was organized to how you live, game changer. Hire Tanisha, she's a beast, okay? This is great. Okay. So the next thing is hairstyling. Y'all know we like to get our hair done, but do you know, for all my entrepreneurs, I feel like I need to label this video how women can win faster by outsourcing. I don't know. But you can get your hair done in your house. They can come to you. Now, I've been doing this hack for years, but let me tell you the hack that I have recently started doing is I recently started hiring stylists who would come to me and do my hair while I'm at my computer. Child, I be working while getting cute. That was such a game changer for me. So I highly recommend you do that. Now, how do you find these stylists? You're gonna have to, number one, this was our process. My VAs do this. I outsource finding my hairstylist. I outsource finding local makeup artists. I don't do that stuff myself. But for hairstylists, what I have them do is I have them go on Style Seat and look for people who have at least 50 reviews. Then I have them cross-reference their Style Seat with their Instagram and look at people who have a sizable Instagram presence. I don't care about your following, but you need to have pictures of you doing hair. And I want to see you do different types of hair. I want to see the neatness, your professionalism. And I also want to see how you respond to comments. If you give ratchet, you're not coming in my house, right? Lastly, you can get referrals depending on who's in your network for people who can come into your home. After that, you may want to consider doing a background check on them and having them sign a confidentiality agreement. It just is what it is. If you don't have a long reference point for them, there's nothing wrong with that. Especially like if they were to come into like you just gotta really be careful and cautious and all of the things. And if they don't wanna do that, then that's fine. They just can't come into your house. But most people, particularly in Atlanta, Chicago, LA, they're comfortable with that. That's not a problem. Okay, so that's that. Hairstyling, super cheat code there. Let's move on, because we got a lot to get through. Clothes tailoring. Hear me on this, especially my curvy sisters. I'm about to blow your mind. Maybe not. Y'all may already know this, but I did not know this, and this blew my mind when I learned it. You can get your clothes tailored, all your clothes. Like, if you want, let's say I'm shopping and I see nothing in my size and I need a 2X or I need a 1X and all they have is a large. Did you know that if you have a bomb tailor, you can buy 2 or 3 of that large and they will make it in your size? This opened up the world of fashion possibilities because no longer am I waiting on designers to be like, curves are in. I don't care what's in, baby. I will get them 2 outfits and my tailor will hook it up. Now, it takes you having a really good tailor, so you got to make sure you get someone who's good, but that has been incredible for my fashion game, just like being able to have all my clothes tailored. If something is a skirt, buying an extra one and making it into pants. If it's strapped, you know, if it has sleeves and I want it off the shoulder, buying an extra one and having her make it off the shoulder. So just tailoring and this is really about quality of life. Because how often have you wanted to wear an outfit, but it's like, dang, I wish I was sleeveless. So now make it sleeveless. It's just a little something you could do, right? So that's another one. That's like, that is not an essential, but that's one that I love. Makeup. If you are someone who's like, I don't do enough content because I don't like this and I don't like that, hire a makeup artist and keep it moving. You can even put a makeup artist on retainer. Now, I've been with my makeup artist, shout out to Yogi, for so long, like literally y'all. If you go back on my YouTube, I used to do a show called Passion, Purpose, and Paychecks. And I would get to the studio at 5 a.m. because I was doing this show while working full-time as a corporate trial lawyer who did not work a 9 to 5, but worked a 9 to whenever they needed me. So it could be all day, it could be 9 to midnight, it didn't matter. And I would do these shows on Saturdays, and that was the only day I had to do my show. And so I would record like 5 or 6 episodes on Saturdays, and Yogi would do my makeup and all of my guests' makeup for those shows. And one of the things that I thought was really cool when I moved out to Georgia is that now I'm like, hey, on the Sunday before, I'm like, hey, these are all the dates I'm gonna need you to do my makeup. And she just does my makeup. So that's been really helpful because when you show up a different way, it just signals to people that you're elevating and that you're going to new levels. And it helps me to just get my content done. I don't have to think about my makeup. I just get my makeup done. If I ever want to get my makeup done, I just get it done. Now, that's easy. Also, it means that I have another hour to do other stuff. Now, this is because my makeup artist is fire. Some makeup artists want you to sit there and be still and be like, I'm not gonna do that. Like, I'm gonna be on my phone. I'm gonna be sending voice notes. It is what it is. Yogi's been with me so long that she don't care what I do in the chair. She's still gonna get that makeup done and it's gonna be fabulous. So shout out to her. So makeup, content recording. Yes, you can DIY content, but baby, if you are not a content editor, if you are not a content guru and you over here fidgeting with your phone, it will slow you down. The reason why you outsource, you all, is so that you can accelerate, so that you can do things faster, or so that you can use one piece of time for 2 purposes. So I'm getting my makeup done and I'm making content, right? I'm getting my hair done and I'm finishing all my content. I'm finishing all my emails. I'm writing all my copy. Like I'm not double thinking in the morning about where stuff is because I got my house organized. So it's really to get more out of a 24-hour day. So if you know you can afford it, and if you know that video is a large piece of your strategy for marketing, invest in having a videographer work on your team. This is for people who are already generating, you already generated money in business. I don't want to put a number on it because you may decide you're generating $100,000 and it's worth it for you to get a videographer. For us, once we crossed over to the 7-figure mark, we were making more than $1 million a year. We decided to invest a large portion of our budget for team members on a videographer. That's someone who shoots and maybe even does photos. A video editor, that's someone who does high touch editing because we do like commercial style videos. And then a day-to-day full-time editor. This person, our full-time video editor actually lives in the Philippines, but he takes the footage that's shot and then he edits it. And then we also use another company who will take some of our footage and just make it into reels because we are a content heavy company. And so because of that, we invested in that and it was worth it for us. Now, how did I know it was worth it? Because that's the question, right? In our March 2023 Black Women Sell Live event, we enrolled, we had $1 million event within 90 days of planning it. And we asked the women who enrolled in our mastermind, had you seen a reel or some piece of content from me before enrolling? Do you know that almost everyone's hand went up that they had seen a piece of content within 30 days that influenced their decision to join our high-level program. And so for me, that signaled to me that I need to make sure that I am putting out more content, because we've had videos go viral, guys, and virality isn't even about a formula. I mean, maybe some content guru will be like, it's a formula. All you gotta do is do. But I don't know about that. I've had several videos go viral, and viral for us means 450,000 views, 1 million views, etc. Now, we've had more do multiple hundreds of thousands of views. I think we've had one maybe that's hit 1 million, and I'm not even sure about that, but I know multiple hundreds of thousands. I'd have to see. I wish Instagram would just show me really quickly like our biggest reels. But one of our reels right now, I think it's at over 500,000 views. We'll just use that, right? For the real police. They're like, I'm gonna check. I don't know if she's had a video do 1 million yet. Okay. All of our videos that have done well, though, it's been a clip of me speaking. It's been long form repurposed into short form. We've had some short form reels do well, but for the most part, we need people shooting and editing. You never know when I'm going to say something that could go viral. And so that means I want to give myself more chances to reach more people organically. So I'm going to put out a high level of content. That means I need to invest in a team to help me do that, because I can afford that. If you can't, then maybe you invest time in learning how to edit yourself. And there's lots of great people who do that. I would definitely check out Madi, and then also check out Nikki. I think her handle is This Is Nikki, but she talks a lot about resources for when you're doing your DIY content. Her content is fire. Yes, her Instagram handle is This Is Nikki's. Okay, so we'll link to that handle. She has some great stuff for you on that. And then also Madi. I don't know if you all know Madi, but you should, because I like following him, and he does a lot on content as well, and he will get you together. He may use curse words. I just say that because I don't be cursing like that on the videos, but if you're offended by that, then, you know, it is what it is. But good content either way. Madi Woodard, so check him out too on the content tip. But I bring that up to say, if you got to do it yourself, there's resources for that. But if you can afford it, this is what you should consider. 7 is photography. One of the things that we invested in was having a photographer, someone who can do video and photo and get photos of us organically capturing content. Because why? That means that now I'm not just recording a podcast, I'm getting new photos every single time. I'm not just going to an event as an attendee, I'm getting photos of me talking to people and capturing, you know, natural expressions of me learning more content. But it's doubling up on time. I'm already recording this video, but I'm also doing a photo shoot at the same time, right? So how do we get more out of our time? The other thing is food preparation. Now, we are not currently working with a meal prep service, but we have in the past. We've done a lot with meal prep. You know, when you move, you kind of got to reestablish your vending situation, but meal prep is great. Now, if I ain't cooking, I'm Uber Eatsing. It ain't necessarily meal prep, but it is what it is. We will run up an Uber Eats bill. So, but meal prep is when you meet with a chef, and they will actually ask you, what do you want to eat? What are you trying to eat? What are your health goals? And they will prepare meals for you. My biggest issue with meal prep for me is I don't like leftovers. So you can also have them come to your house and prepare it fresh. That works really well for us. But food prep and meal prep is something that you can do as well. Personal styling. We've worked with various stylists in the past, and it's always pretty much been a good experience. The stylist thing is cool because they can, like, if I'm going to an event, I would just text my stylist and be like, yo, I'm going to this event. Now, I had a stylist on retainer for about a year. And the one thing I found is that I just bought so many clothes that I didn't need a stylist anymore. What I needed now is someone who can help put together looks or accessories for specialized events. Now, I talked about tailoring earlier. One of the things that I did is I went and got almost all of the outfits made by a tailor in Bangkok. And so my stylist this year, he's just gonna be focused on getting my accessories, getting my jewelry, making sure I got my bags ready, getting my comfortable outfits that also need to be fly for Black Women Sell Live, because you know how we cut up. You know how we cut up. So side note, get your ticket to Black Women Sell Live. It's gonna be a vibe. So personal styling is something you could do. Custom clothing. So someone who can make you things that are custom. I had a wild experience with someone who made me something custom, and it looked like Christelle made it. So you do want to, and honestly, my stylist found this person, and I don't know if I don't know what happened with that. Overall, the woman did pretty good, but like, That was a huge miss. So you want to make sure if you hire someone to do custom clothing, you have seen their work. Even the company that did my custom suits in Bangkok, they had done other custom pieces for me. And so while they hadn't done pieces like the ones I was asking them to do, I met with their tailor, I met with their seamstress, I creative directed it, I gave them some photos and some inspirations, I created the mood board. And so if you're gonna be here's the thing, outsourcing can save you time, but all people need to be managed. And what you don't manage, what you don't inspect, you shouldn't expect, okay? Unless you're really working with a consummate professional, I have just found that you need to manage and manage and manage until a standard is set. Okay? So we're talking about saving time, but when it comes to things like that, you are gonna have to get that managed. Concierge services. Now, a concierge, you can hire a concierge. This is a person who is just a professional researcher. Our concierge service makes our dinner appointments. When I moved to Georgia, I had our concierge service research great restaurants within 5 miles of my living for breakfast, great restaurants for lunch, great restaurants for dinner. What were the best spas? They make all my spa appointments. You give them your credit card, they keep it on file, and they can actually put down your credit card and they can pay for things for you. When I want things printed, I send it to them. They send it to FedEx, they get it couriered to my house. I don't have to be involved in that. It's almost like a personal assistant, but they're fully virtual, and it's a company. So they're experts at research. I have them look up flights. I have them research venues. I have them call venues and search for availability. I have them book car service for me. And I have them research different doctor's offices that I can go to. A concierge does research, personal and professional research. And what's cool is I've even been able to add my team member to my concierge profile. So how I get more out of, I want to get more out of my time, and I want to get more out of my team's time. So my personal assistant, who's with me every day, the same person, right? I want her to use my concierge, because if she can have somebody else who's already been paid research all these things for me, then she can focus on things that only she can do, right? And so that's something to consider. Even down to like, every day we have an event, I want my personal assistant to have my Uber Eats profile, because she needs to be ordering my breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I have a bad habit when I have busy days, I don't eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Like, I'm better about it now, but sometimes I forget. Like, my days be back to back, right? Tennis in the morning, I'm in hair and makeup, then I go to a commercial, then I do a shoot, then I have an interview, then I'm doing a press tour, then I'm doing this, then I meet my publicist. That's a pretty typical day. And then I'm working, and then I'm talking to clients, and then I'm doing a coaching call, and then I'm in my community, then I'm getting coaching, and so I'm talking to my coach. And so you want to make sure that someone is thinking about you when your schedule is shuffling you around. I also use my personal assistant to remind me of meetings, because I don't always look at my Google Calendar as much as I should. So my assistant will be like, your meeting starts in 5 minutes. Your meeting starts in 1 minute. Your meeting starts now. Are you in your meeting? I'm on your call. I don't see you on your call. Like, she just helps with that kind of stuff. But a concierge, so I say that to say the difference between a concierge isn't going to do that minute by minute, show up to your stuff. But your concierge will do your research. So the combo, the 1-2 punch that I like, is having my personal assistant give things to my concierge to do, so that she is doubling up on her time and she can focus more on me, making sure I have what I need. Hopefully this is good. If y'all are getting ideas, drop ideas in the comments. And if y'all are like, how much is a concierge service? I don't know, because let me tell you something else. I was a former federal trial lawyer at one of the highest grossing firms in the world. Last I checked, they were the #1 firm in the world by revenue. And working at great companies comes with great benefits. One of the alumni benefits of me working at this particular firm is that for the rest of my life, I get complimentary concierge services. And honey, one thing about me, I'm gonna run up my benefits, okay? So I have been using this service like they know Mrs. Kirkwood, okay? And so I don't pay for it. Well, I paid for it and working for that company and spending all them hours at that firm. So thank you, Jesus, for that job. But I don't know, but you can look it up and see how much it would be. Moving services, okay. If you're moving, not only, okay, so my coach helped me with this. We were taking all this stuff to an event because we were hosting a large event. My coach, my business coach was like, hey, why don't you hire a moving company? I was like, I ain't even think about that. So this one is something that was given to me as a gift, and so now I'm giving it to you guys. A moving company will really, really help. So you can use a moving company not just for, hey, I'm moving from one house to another. You can use a moving company for, hey, I want you to move this bedroom that's upstairs to the basement. You don't have to do that, ma'am. You know what I mean, sir? You don't got to do that. So you can use a moving company for moving anywhere. But if you are moving from one house to another, we use a moving company. We have packers. We have unpackers. And here's what I wish I would have known. Another 1-2 punch. You want your moving company to coordinate with your organizer, because your organizer can organize your move and direct your packers and organize everything for the move so that your move is organized. When we moved into our new home, the organizers actually unpacked us and organized at the same time as they were unpacking, so that I wasn't moving into a chaotic home. Within 2 days or 3 days of moving in, they actually had all the boxes removed, everything was unpacked and organized, and we hired a moving manager. This person managed the organizers and got a handyman over here to fix anything we wanted fixed, add in extra electrical outlets, hang anything we wanted to be hung. I mean, it was a production. And I didn't have to be here for my move, y'all. I'm telling y'all this, I didn't even know this stuff was possible. So baby, even if you can't do it now, dream a new dream. So you guys, during my move, Chris was working hard. I wasn't really working. I was actually making content, but Chris was kind of working hard. I was like, babe, we got the moving manager here. We got the organizers here. You know, it's a secure area. People have been vetted and checked. Let's go get a massage. During my move, y'all, we went and got a massage. Oh my gosh. I did not know these things were possible. So that was a biggie. So packers, unpackers, organizers, movers, all this stuff can work together. Handyman services. So, you know, putting up your pictures, putting together that IKEA furniture. Honey, hire a handyman. Go on Thumbtack or TaskRabbit, hire a handyman. Grocery shopping, use Instacart. Or if you have an in-person personal assistant, they can do that. House management services. Now this is a good one. Here's what a personal assistant can do and how we use our personal assistant. We had to move out of one house into another house. When you move out of a house, you have some things you need to fix or some painting and things you want to get done, some carpet you want to get clean. Our personal assistant almost served as like a house manager and made sure everything got done at the other house, organized and booked all of the cleaners to come into the new house. She did all of that. So that stuff can be done as well, right? Laundry services. You can have pickup and drop off services. Now we gonna mix and match. We gonna mix and match. Now my concierge researches who are the people who can do pickup and drop off services. So you have your concierge research or your personal assistant research who does drop off and pickup services, who has good reviews, what is their process like, and then have them ask, will you put matching sets together? Will you separate the clothes by Christelle, Chris, and me? Will you separate the cleaning, you know, what needs to be washed and fold, from the dry cleaning? Okay, and they can do all of that. There was one pickup laundry service that we use that would do our laundry and our dry cleaning. Now, since your house is organized now, we talked about getting your organizer, you're gonna have one bin for the dirty clothes, one bin for the dry cleaning dirty clothes. And so when it comes to taking those clothes to or putting them outside for your pickup laundry service, they're gonna know which is which. They may even give you different bags for different things, okay? So that's something else you can outsource. And now here's the thing. We mixing and matching. We own like 15, 16, 17 things you can outsource. Then you wanna have them drop off that laundry, and baby, do not stare at that folded up laundry for long. You wanna have your house cleaner put up your laundry, okay? Whoever's cleaning your house. Now, we do weekly house cleaning. I used to do bi-weekly. With a baby, I need weekly. Another thing that you can do in addition to house cleaning is we have a lot of white furniture. I don't know why we were so bold and audacious as to have a lot of white furniture with a toddler. I don't even get mad when baby girl eats sweet potatoes and just says, I'm gonna put it all over mommy's white couch. Daddy's white couch is about to be orange. Let's go, let's go. It's my house too, you know what I mean? She wants to make sure we know she's here. We have it set up quarterly. You can have your personal assistant set up quarterly furniture cleaning. Not only can you have your couches and your furniture clean, but I'm saying this because I'm kind of new to some of this. I'm true to a lot of this, but I'm new to some of this. You can have like this pillow, let's say it got a little mushy. You can have it reupholstered. So you can have it all cleaned, and then you can have it reupholstered and restuffed. You may need that. I don't know how often you need to get stuff reupholstered or restuffed or whatever, but for our furniture, we want to do a quarterly clean of our furniture and a quarterly clean of our carpet, okay? So you can have that stuff automatically set up. If you're getting your grass clean, have it on auto. Just come once a week. I don't want to have to call you every week. Just come once a week. House cleaning, come once a week. I'm going to pay you every week. Let's come once a week. You can automate some of that. Interior decorating. If you're not an interior designer, you can hire one. They range in prices. I mean, big time range. But that's something. If you like doing that yourself, there's nothing wrong with that. But that's something that we've used as well, is interior design. Driving services. Okay. Ever since I was a little girl, y'all, I've been telling my parents, like, I'm about to have a driver. You do not have to have a full-time driver if you don't need a full-time driver. But what I did when I got to Georgia, pro tip, right? I took Uber Black everywhere. I was reading, it was something I was reading about, like the dangers of taking Uber in Atlanta specifically, and just some wild stuff. So I was, all right, I'm doing Uber Black. So I do Uber Black, and then I would just be interviewing, basically. So you do Uber Black. Everybody in Atlanta who does Uber Black, they always give me their card. And so I would be looking at, when you show up, are you in a suit? Are you opening my door? Are you asking the temperature that I like? Are you allowing me to control the radio? Are you quiet during the ride so that I can do what in the back? What do I be doing in the back seat of my car? Live videos, working, reading, sleeping, team meetings. The reason why I have a driver, again, is not because, oh, I want to look fancy on the internet. We're talking about, how do I use a bucket of time for two reasons? So I got to get from point A to point B, but I also want to get this content. I also want to read over my new manuscript. I also want to be able to give my team their feedback. I also want to be able to write new captions. I also want to be able to ideate dreams, sleep. You know, so I have a driver for those reasons. And I actually learned about outsourcing, you guys. Let me tell you how I learned it really good. As a lawyer, you bill by the 15 minutes. So I don't waste time. And because I don't waste time, one of the things that I would do as a lawyer is I would be billing when I could either drive and I couldn't bill any of those hours, or I could have a cab or a driver take me from point A to point B, and I could sit in the back of the car and I could read the brief, and I could edit the brief by hand with the red pen. I could actually think about the case. I could strategize about the case. I could take calls with my paralegal. And so it allowed me to bill more time. Now in the legal setting, you're billing and you're determining, you know, your bonus is determined by how much you bill. The more you work, the more you get paid. And so you don't want to ever pad your hours. And I don't, you know, it wasn't a common practice where I work. It was always enough work. Ain't nobody have to lie about how much they was working. But it was just very helpful for me to see how I could leverage and utilize that time instead of wasting that time. I could read a case, you know. I love reading printed material in a car. It's just, I don't know, I just love doing it. So again, this ain't about looking cool or cute. This is about how do we maximize our time so that when you're off, you're off. When you ain't working, you ain't working. But back of the car, I don't need, like, I could be working at that time. So laundry services, dry cleaning, interior decorating, driving services. We talked about nanny services. Now, with the chauffeur, right? With you having a driver, you're going to take Uber Black, find you a good one. They should be opening your doors every time, not one time. I have a driver that literally every time I see him, doors are open. And what's cool is they don't just chauffeur me around. When I have family in town, my driver, my personal driver, will go and pick up my family. And what's cool is I can even tell him, like, hey, it's my mom's birthday, pick up some flowers on the way. He'll pick her up with flowers. He'll pick up my auntie with flowers. He'll make sure my friends get from point A to point B. We had friends in town for, we were all in town for a conference, and I wanted to take them to church. I wanted to take them to our country club to have lunch. And so I knew that they were gonna be like, okay, well, I got all these bags. How are we gonna do that? How are we gonna do that? One of the things about me is that, and this is really, now we're about to talk about business strategy a little bit in here too. You cannot provide high-end experiences if you don't have high-end experiences. So one of the things that I've really been blessed to be able to do is to go to the best hotels and learn from them. We took our clients to the Four Seasons, and it was incredible. And one of the things that she said, I asked her to define luxury. I'm about to let y'all in on $1 million secret. Do y'all know how she defined luxury? Child, it's the best definition I've ever heard. She said luxury is the absence of worry. Now, if that don't make you feel just good, I don't know what will. So luxury is the absence of worry. So when I wanted to take my friends around, I didn't want to worry about, can they fit in our car? Can they not? Are they going to be sitting on Christelle's Cheerios? So I called my driver and I said, hey, and he has a team. And so he said, yeah, I'll have someone pick up your friends from their hotel, take them to church, wait at the church. And then after church, we realized, hey, we have time before they need to get to the airport. So we were able to take them to our country club. And I knew my country clubs are, because not a country club is a private club that you pay to have access to. And typically there's golf there, there's tennis there, there's several restaurants there, and it's not crowded traditionally. One of the things I like about country clubs is when you want to get a seat, you can have a seat for the most part. And so it's not crowded, you're not rushed, it's excellent service. You pay a buy-in to get in the club. There's a fee that you pay up front just to be a member, and then you have a monthly fee that you pay. And it's a cashless system. So when you go into these clubs, at least the way ours works, we're a part of a couple, the way they both work, I'm not pulling out my card. I don't have to worry about, do I have this, do I have that? You give them your member number and they charge everything to your member number. And at the end of the month, you have a little bill and you pay the bill monthly. So I take tennis lessons at my club. I go to brunch at my club. If I want to do golf lessons, I can do it at my club. And then I don't have to worry about, okay, do I have my card? Do I have this swiping, waiting? None of that. They know you by name. They know your orders. They remember how you like things. And so I was able to do this with my friends. And because we had the driver, they didn't have to worry about lugging their luggage out, putting their luggage back in, etc. So it was easier for us because we didn't have to take them to the airport because that saves time. Even though we love our friends, we want to spend valuable, intimate time with them, talking, praising, worshiping, doing whatever we do. But, driving them to the airport, no big deal. We were able to take them, we were able to have them taken to the airport by our driver. And one of my friends came up to me and she was just like, hey, I've never had a black car waiting on me. And I was like, and it was just such a heartfelt thank you. And I remember thinking to myself, like, oh my goodness, because I figured out how to outsource and live this life and I work hard and we're able to do these things, I'm able to spend valuable time with my friends. And I really did it because I treat people the way I want to be treated, but also because I like hanging out with my friends. I like hanging out with my husband. I like hanging out with my daughter. And I don't want to have to worry about the extra stressors that come with hosting. So when you learn to outsource, you can extend that extra time to your friends. You can extend your vendors and your resources and your team. This is my personal team. So just to say, all that to say, you get this down, you're going to be able to provide your family with different experiences and show them a better quality of life. Because as hard as we work as entrepreneurs, quality of life is going to be something that you're going to need to systematize. Everyone talks about building your business team. What we don't talk about enough is building your personal team, because having a good business team and having no personal teams means you're getting off work and you're doing other jobs. Cleaning is a profession. It is a profession that I don't necessarily want to be in, but it is a profession that I respect very deeply. And so I'm going to pay my cleaners and they are in that profession and they do it better than I ever could, right? And so you want to make sure that you are extending these services even to people who come. So if you don't drive yourself, you don't have to drive your friends. Get a good driver and then that handles that. If you want to. This is all optional. I ain't forcing nobody. Okay. Administrative tasks. You can hire a VA from anywhere in the world. I want you guys to think about the marketplace, the hiring marketplace, as a global marketplace. Meaning, I live in Georgia, I live in Chicago, I could hire somebody in Trinidad. I live in Tennessee, I live in Texas, I could hire somebody in India. You have a global marketplace. And the rate of pay is very much dependent on the global marketplace. You know how in Cali it's more expensive to live than in Iowa? So the average salary for someone in California is going to be higher for particular roles than it will be in Iowa. Okay, well, it works similarly in the global hiring marketplace. Before we could compete, before we could provide competitive pay in one market, I looked at my dollars and my budget and I said, where can I provide competitive pay? Where can I afford to pay competitively? And those are the regions, the countries, and the areas in which I hired. Now, before y'all come for me, because I've had someone be like, I can't believe you do that. Like, you don't pay, you should da-da-da-da. Can we please grow up? Like, can we mature? Can we mature in how we operate as business owners to the degree that you have to understand that we do not pay everyone the same salary for a reason? Your personal worth is unlimited. All humans are created equal. All skill sets have different value to the company. You pay based on the skill set, and then you reward people who are excellent. So you pay more, you do bonuses, increases, and raises. But sometimes I can pay a life-changing salary in one locale, but I can only pay I'm not as competitive in another locale. So before you say you can't afford this, you can't afford that, count the cost, figure out where you can compete, and then hire in the areas, in the locales where your dollar is competitive. That is just called being an astute business person. And if you don't know about hiring, you need to get the Speak Your Way to Cash book. Go to speakyourwaytocash.com/buy book. I think it's part 6 of that book covers how to hire internationally. Get into it, okay? So administrative tasks, we outsource a lot of that. Printing services, you can outsource all your printing needs. If you sit at home and you got a 50-page paper, baby, don't be printing that paper, okay? Cooking, you can have a personal chef or meal delivery services. Another thing is event planning, right? So you can hire an event planner, not just for your big events, but for your personal events. And you can hire a virtual event planner. There's more things that we outsource, y'all. You can have your mani-pedis done in your house. You can have, if you're a guy, your barber can come to your house. I like knowing about the services that can come to my house because it means I can multitask and I'm comfortable. Again, be safe. Background check, NDAs. There's more that I outsource I can't even think about, but this gives you a start. This gives you a start of kind of some things to outsource and how we think about them. When you're hiring internationally, even for our hiring funnel, for VAs and graphic designers and editors, we test everyone before they work here. So not only do we test, we actually have an automated hiring funnel that we talk to with our mastermind. So if you're someone who's like, hey, I'm watching this YouTube video, I'm listening to this podcast, clearly this lady is a wealth of knowledge, I want to get personal coaching from her. I don't think I've talked about this on other videos, but I am a coach, I'm a business coach. And of course, sometimes that means that I am going to help you with some things that go beyond business, like outsourcing and all of that. If you have questions, you need guidance, you need strategic counsel, work with me. I can coach you. If you sell services, I can coach you. And so just email hello@speakyourwaytocash.com, put application in the subject line, and we'll send you the application to work with us personally. It is an investment. So I just wanted to say that. But for everyone who's watching this, who's like, oh my God, she outsources all this, I'm not there yet, blah, blah, blah. Be very careful of your thoughts. I want you guys to start thinking, she's just like me. Literally, I used to work a job for $27,000 a year. Who's made more than that? My first speaking engagement was $100. Many of you have been paid more than that. I've been fired from jobs before. I've had companies that have failed. We've worked and built this up. We've built up this muscle. We've learned how to sell. We've learned how to speak. I worked in, I told you guys this, I think on a previous video, but I used to do 20,000, I've done 20,000 sales calls total. I used to do 100 sales calls a day. So these are some skill sets that have allowed us to build our company and sell our services to more than 7,000 people and counting. It's probably way more than that now. But that's what helped us build a multi-million-dollar company. We're one of the fastest growing companies in America. We have been able to do that. We're in the top 3% of all women-owned businesses in this country. And that is something that you can have too. One of the reasons I'm hosting Black Women Sell Live is because there is an elevated way that sisters need to be doing business. There's an elevated conversation that we need to be having. I don't want to have the conversation that's like, you need to invest in yourself. Y'all know that. Y'all know that. That's not even the debate. The debate is, can you get with someone who can give you strategic business counsel that can coach you without competing with you? Amen. That can call you up, not call you out. If you're looking for that, I want to invite you to come to Black Women Sell Live. We're going to show a commercial, but we're not going to show the commercial we typically show. We're going to show the commercial about the heart behind why we do this company, why we're doing this event. And I want to see you in Atlanta, Georgia, October 3rd through the 5th. If you got something out of this episode, let me know. But what I'm about to show you next is the heart of why I'm doing Black Women Sell Live. In preparation for this event, you guys, I have studied Black women millionaires from the 1800s, from the 1900s. I have studied the psychology of Black women in our relationships and how we relate to one another. I have gone to Ghana to learn more about the royalty of our roots, as well as the transatlantic slave trade, as well as the different relationships that we have and how we relate with one another. And I am cultivating a room of powerful women, of women who are ready to literally change the world with their expertise, who are done with hiding, who are done with playing small, who are done with that little feeling you get when you meet another sister and you're wondering, can I be my full self with her? Who are done with that twinge of insecurity that you get when you see someone walking in their full self, who are done with that, like, with any jealousy and hate, and who want to operate in a level of creative freedom, a level of financial freedom, a level of expressive freedom, a level of transparency that transcends. I want all of you to come to Black Women Sell Live. I want all of you to come and work with us and Speak Your Way to Cash. I want all of you to come and get the strategic sales insights that will accelerate your growth and the mindset strategies that will break you free. I look at the people who are buying tickets to the event and I'm so excited, and I'm just thinking about all the thousands of you that are going to watch this video and are going to wonder, like, okay, this is great, but how is she able to afford this? This is great, but how do I get my business in a position where I can afford this with ease? It is going to be sales. It is going to be that you sell your services. And there's something that we've developed, and we've been developing something called the income impact continuum. And what this is a visual representation of what happens when we commit to selling more services, not just financially, but what happens in terms of the ripple impact that it creates, what happens in terms of the impact that it creates. I want every woman watching this who wants more for her life to meet me in Atlanta, Georgia, October 3rd to the 5th. I have this feeling in my heart right now. This wasn't even in the script, but whatever, we're here. I have this feeling in my heart that something so transformative is going to happen at that event, like something that I can't even literally explain. And I know there's some of you who are like, well, what are we going to cover? And I could tell you all the session titles, and they're all planned out. And I go above and beyond. The workbooks are going to be workbooking. The sessions are going to be sessioning. The vibes are going to be vibing. The music is going to be musicking. All the things are going to be doing all the things. But there is a particular woman who needs to be there who has been struggling with success fatigue. And by success fatigue, I mean you're doing things that feel successful. People are looking at you like you're successful because you are, but you're fatigued by what you're currently doing because you understand that there is this this burning desire within you to do more. And yeah, you have to sell more services, but you have to do it from a place that won't burn you out. You have to do it from a level of freedom that is only unlocked when we come together and we really start to see ourselves in each other. I want every woman watching this to know that I genuinely am praying for your ultimate prosperity. I am praying that you build a business that literally frees not just you, but generations that come behind you. I am so sick of hearing simple conversations about business systems. I am so tired of hearing people talk about how, Black women only make a certain amount of money and how our average gross receipts are $25,000. I personally feel that you do not help people go to the next level by studying only their inadequacies. I know that you help people go to the next level by studying their successes. And so, sis, if you're watching this, I want you to know what I'm studying for you. What I'm studying for you is the sisters who came before us who made millions without all the resources that we have today. What I'm studying for you are the traits of Black millionaires in America and beyond so that you can become 1, 2, and you can have 2 or 3 or 4 that come from your household. What I'm studying is how you can be a mom who has a great relationship with your kids, but you're still making millions and hundreds of millions in your business. What I'm studying is how you can potentially build your company to sell. What I'm studying is how you making millions and being this huge influential person doesn't mean that you have to sacrifice your marriage on the altar of success. What I'm studying for you is how sisters can scale without sacrificing their sanity. And I'm telling you that I'm not just able to host this event and coach you up because I have read a book on it. I'm telling you that some of the trials that I have been through, I know they weren't for me. Some of the things that I have experienced, I know it don't even make sense that it be for me. But it's for one of you. It's for one of you. And so I'm promoting this event differently, and I'm talking about this event differently, not because, I want all these people to come to the event. No, I want the right women in the room. I want the woman in the room that's going to have to make some arrangements to get there, that's going to have to book some flights, that's going to have to book a hotel. I want the woman to come who's sick of conferences. Hello. Can we be real? I want the woman to come who's sick of surfacey conferences. I want you to come, because the truth is, this isn't a conference. This is not even an event. This is a movement for sisters that are ready to take up space, not just on the internet, but who are ready to build businesses that take up space on top business lists, that take up space. When you go to banks, they got to get a couple people to come because you got so much going on in the bank. I want us to feel comfortable building wealth, not in the clickbaity build generational wealth format, but really building wealth. One of the reasons why I know how to outsource, you guys, is because I did not see my mom burnt out doing everything. My mom had a cleaner. The reason I know that I wanted to be a part of a country club is not because this is my first time being in a country club. It's because when I was growing up, I remember the peace that I felt going to the club and looking at the manicured yards. And you may be wondering, oh, Ashley had a silver spoon in her mouth. Ain't that the goal? Isn't the goal for you to have children that don't have to struggle the same way that you did? And to be clear, I did not grow up well because I come from a long line of people who have generational wealth. I grew up well because my parents made different decisions. So my dad didn't have mom and dad in the house. My mom wasn't in a house where her parents were married and they had a long-lasting marriage in the house. My dad had a father who wasn't around for him. His mom and his dad had a tough upbringing. He was literally taken in by a whole nother family at his church. He didn't have all this stuff, but he made sure we had all of that. He made sure that we saw a 30+ year marriage in my parents. He made sure that we saw what it looked like to love. He not only is going to pass down generational wealth, he's going to pass down generational love. The goal, a lot of us talk about generational wealth and we've never seen it. I'm not a first generation millionaire, I'm a second. And the truth of the matter is that is what we should be celebrating, not demonizing. So I want you to come and see something different. I want you to come and see something different. And even with all of that my dad accomplished, let me be clear, I built my company not on the back of him giving me clients or anything like that. We actually built it without asking for help, not because I should have asked for help. I should have got funding from my parents. I should have done a raise in my family, and I didn't. And the reason why I didn't is because there's something in me, and it may be the same thing that's in you, that's dang, I don't think I should ask for help. Right? I should just do this on my own. And so I did it on my own, but I shouldn't have. It's okay to ask for help. You can ask for help. Come to the event, get help. Come to the event, share help. We have people who come to our events and leave with 5-figure contracts because we don't attract women who aren't doing something. All of our clients are already successful. They are not coming to me to make them successful. People work with me to accelerate growth, not to give them something to grow. They already have something to grow. That's one of the misperceptions about scaling. Scaling is not about you building a business. Scaling is about accelerating a system that has already been built. You can't scale until you have something to scale. It's about scaling results that you've already earned. That's scaling, right? And so we want to either help you build that system so that you can eventually scale, or help you scale what's already working by giving you strategic insights. Last thing before I show y'all this video. Y'all, if you're bored with your business, stop building it boring. You get to decide what you build. We are not helping you build cookie cutter businesses. One of the most brilliant things about Black women, honey, is that we are creative. We are innovators. Bring the innovation. I want the innovators to come. I want the creators to come. I want the women who have witty ideas that some people may think are silly. I want you to come because I am fully committed to making sure you leave with all the confidence in the world to go out and build it as big as you want to build it, to scale it as high as you can scale it, and to do it in a way that only uniquely you can do it. So check out this video, and I want to see y'all at Black Women Sell Live. Like and subscribe, share this video out, outsource all the things, drop me a comment. Let's get into this video, and I want to see y'all at Black Women Sell Live. I don't know what it is, but I can't shake this feeling that I am put here for more, that I'm supposed to do something that will truly change the world. And if you're watching this video, I'm sure you have that feeling too. One of the best things I ever did was become an entrepreneur and share my expertise with the world. And I know it's more than a way to just make money. It's a calling. Despite entrepreneurship having its rewards, I can't ignore that it has its challenges too. And the news won't ignore this fact either. Article after article after article reports that Black women entrepreneurs are in trouble. That despite being the highest degreed group on the planet, Black women aren't the highest earning group on the planet. JP Morgan Chase reported that Black female founders earn an average revenue of just $24,000 compared to $142,900 amongst all women-owned businesses. And they aren't the only ones reporting these numbers. There is so much gloom and doom reported about Black women in business. But I know you're different, because I know that if you're watching this video, you are the solution to the world's problems. If you're watching this video, you understand the importance and urgency that you must take to growing the sales in your business and to increasing its profitability and expanding your impact. If you're watching this video, those stats don't ever have to apply to you, because you're more like the women who came before us who made millions in business, even in unspeakable circumstances, than you are like anything else. You're like Mary Ellen Pleasant, who was born into slavery, gained her freedom, and became a successful entrepreneur. She made a fortune in real estate and ran boarding houses and restaurants by being discreet and hiding her true identity at times to get investment tips from those who she appeared to be working for. You're like Maggie Lena Walker, who overcame paralysis and being born into extreme poverty and still became one of the first women to charter a bank in the United States of America, the St. Luke Penny Savings Bank in Richmond, Virginia. You're like Sarah Breedlove, better known as Madam C.J. Walker, who was perhaps the most well-known Black woman entrepreneur of the early 1900s, who made her fortune through hair care products for Black women and became one of the first self-made female millionaires in the United States. She overcame poverty, she overcame discrimination, she overcame competition and many other things to lead the hair care industry. And she created financial opportunities for thousands of other Black women by building an ironclad sales force. She gets a lot of credit for being one of the leaders of the hair care industry. But let me tell you, sis, she's a pioneer in the direct sales industry as well. You're also probably like Bridget Biddy Mason, who was born into slavery, gained her freedom in California in the mid-1800s, and became a successful entrepreneur in Los Angeles. She is noted in history as a true change agent and American hero. She amassed a fortune through real estate after gaining her freedom and sold her first house to reinvest it in a variety of other properties that helped her form a real estate portfolio. And then she used her wealth to support the community, building a school, building a church, investing in various charitable initiatives. The Biddy Mason story proves what various social scientist studies have shown today, that when women get wealth, the entire world gets better. They give back at a faster rate than any other group. And so, sis, it's imperative that you get wealth too, because the world needs you. And so I need you to know that we need you to attend Black Women Sell Live. Because at this event, you'll be able to look left and look right and know that you're sitting by the next history maker. I need you to know that one day someone will be reading your name in a list like this, and they'll be talking about the lives that you changed based on the decisions that you made starting today. Our company, Speak Your Way to Cash, hosts an event called Black Women Sell Live, and we have been honored to work with some of our own history makers, like our client Eno, who is teaching women around the world how to earn far more than six figures by working as a business analyst. She is the founder of the Business Analysis School and has had several students get success by growing their income in the field. Alums of our programs that we've worked with, like Maria Davis Pierre, who is helping Black parents who have children with autism get the resources they need to raise world changers. Her company, Autism in Black, has been featured in countless media outlets, and she is the preeminent expert in her field. Or our clients like Rio and Mika Watkins of PowerMates, who've been on television and write for companies like Business Insider, and who speak about successful people who have everything but love and how they can find love, keep love, and grow love by becoming a PowerMate. Did you know that one of the wealth building tools is marriage? And when there is an attack on it, it's an attack on our wealth. PowerMates is changing that narrative. You're like every powerful woman that I've mentioned to this point who has used her expertise to solve a problem that the world has. And maybe you're like me. When I first started my business, I was so concerned about whether I'd be able to replace my $300,000 law firm salary that I left. And I remember feeling this notion that if women before me had done it, women who looked like me, women who overcame challenges far bigger than the challenges I would ever face have done it, then I knew it was possible for me too. And I hope you have that same feeling. The very fact that you're watching this video is a testament to what hard work, strategy, family, and God can do. Our first event only had 10 people to attend, but look at this video of our last event. It's not 10 people anymore. I remember the first year of our business only making $800, but last year in business, we made millions. And I know that it wasn't just for me to do it, but it was for me to show you how to do it too. This is your sign to come and be in the right room. Breathe in, breathe out. When you attend one of our events, you're home. You have services that will change lives. You are wealth. You have the resources that this world needs, and we are going to show you how to sell those resources at Black Women Sell Live. You've helped others get results, and so it's time that people are paying you your rate to get those results too. And we've helped others like you get results. We've helped others land large contracts and grow their businesses. Listen to this.
I was able to land a $30,000 contract.
I spent 2 hours of my time and made $27,000.
My new rate is $15,000.
A $75,000 contract, the 100 one we're talking about now.
$141,400.
It is way above the $100,000 mark.
So why not you? Question for you, sis. Are you ready to step into the highest version of yourself? The version who already knows that it will work? The version that is done with making excuses but instead chooses to make a way? The version that knows that women like Mary Ellen Pleasant, Maggie Lena Walker, Madam C.J. Walker, and Bridget Betty Mason did not go through what they went through, go through the challenges that they went through and overcame, and the hurdles that they jumped over and prevailed through for you not to make millions in your business. Are you ready for the version that knows that your business is necessary to shift bloodlines and generations? Are you ready to put down all the reasons why it won't work and pick up all the tools and skills you need to make it work? Final question. Are you ready to attend Black Women Sell Live? Get ready. Your future starts now. Join us October 3rd through the 5th in person in Atlanta, Georgia. Go to blackwomenSellEvent.com and get your ticket today before it's gone. I'll see you there.
Yeah. Energy high, excuses low. Energy high, excuses low. Energy high, excuses low. Energy high, excuses low. I need energy, need only good people that's around me. All the faith you can give, that's the recipe.